Welcome to the Downtown, brought to you by Arlington Citizen Media. I am Daryl Smith Jr., and across the internet from me is...
I am Rody John, and to my right is...
Amy!
On today's show, we talked to Monica Paul, the Executive Director of the Dallas Sports Commission, about bringing the FIFA World Cup back to the DFW area, and more specifically, Arlington.
That's great. We also talked to Trang and Damien Price from Dreamwaves Productions to tell us the story of how Dreamwaves formed and what it's like to work alongside of other amazing local artists.
So what has everyone been up to this week?
I went to Grounds and Gold again, as I do multiple times. It's right up the street, so there's no reason.
Yeah, you should absolutely. If you're going to get coffee.
I did try their chai. Was not a fan.
Really?
So, I'll find a new way. I gotta find something that's low fat because I like the Micah's Mocha. It is a very sweet drink.
Okay.
But I want caffeine, and but I don't want to taste the espresso. So I'm gonna give it the coffee guy and try to figure that out.
Okay. You can always go with like a non-dairy option.
That's true. Yeah, they do have
or a fat-free option.
They have the oat milk there. They also have, I believe, almond and coconut milk. I'm pretty sure. They have oat milk, I'm sure.
Talk with them. They can figure that out.
But I did get an interview with Maurice, the owner, and the baker there. So we will hopefully have that up maybe next week. Little preview. It could be 2 weeks, who knows. And then I swung by Legal Draft because I thought that their market was last week because it's the first Thursday, but it was not. It is. So the first Thursday, even though it was on the first, was not when they were having their market.
So it was just a nice treat.
It was. I just had a nice fall guy, and it was delicious.
There you go.
And then also on Sunday, I swung by the Arlington Knights Chat and Do over at Mavericks. Former guest David Conan was, of course, the host. And they had Jerry and...
Former guest?
All three former guests from Mavericks talk about, just what they're doing and trying to make sure that they are the home of all the local music that's happening. Because, there's a lot going to happen on Front Street. There's a lot going to happen even more on Abrams. So we're going to have a lot of local music here and a lot of good venues. But don't forget, Mavericks is, in fact, the place. They're also going to have a new stage.
A new stage and food, right? They've
got
a full kitchen.
Yeah.
The food is good. The drinks are good.
Yeah, Richard's
the
daughter
staff is great.
Yeah, Richard's daughters work there.
Yeah. Cute family.
Yes.
Really great family. We love them. They've done a lot for us. They really helped out a lot with Arlington Cares.
Yes.
So we, of course, appreciate them. I haven't done much of anything yet again. Been very busy with work and not trying to get the bid. So unfortunately, a lot of very prominent people lately have come down with that. I
won't get into that, but yep, a lot of people have.
I do hope anybody who has gets better, no matter what stage of life you're in, get better. Nobody should be passing with this thing.
Exactly. Seems like there's another part of, another Arlington maybe that's a hot spot. Arlington, Virginia, perhaps? I don't know.
Maybe.
I've done nothing as well. I was supposed to go to that Chat and Do, but I took a bitchin' nap instead. Not on purpose. So obviously my body needed it because it was like, hey man, we're shutting down for a little bit. Needed to reprogram and restart, and we did that, and I felt good after that. But I didn't do anything. I played Minecraft with my kid. That's what I did.
If you would like to come to the next one, November 1st at Stumpy's. Anybody who would like to come, local musicians, if you even know local musicians and they don't know about this, have them come out. If you know any reporters that also want to cover this.
And venues.
Yes,
venue
venues
owners
as well.
that need musicians. This is a great networking tool.
Right.
And I think that was created. That's how we've met a lot of the people, is through these Chat and Do's. So it really is a great resource.
Yeah, the drummer for September Moon was there this week. And they made a contact with Levitt, and they are opening up for the big country act. I forget exactly the name, but this Saturday night.
Great.
Yeah.
So. Awesome.
I think that it's a great place to network, not only if you're a musician, but also if you just like music in the city of Arlington.
Absolutely.
It puts people together that may not otherwise. Look, our buddy Dakota got his job at Texas Live because he went to a Chat and Do with someone who worked at Texas Live, and David talks about that kind of stuff quite a bit at the Chat and Do's and how these connections are made and formed. And, you know, that they're important parts of fostering interconnectivity in our city that I think is obviously growing and I think we're a part of that. But, you know, it's a great place to meet like-minded people.
I love that.
Exactly. I'm here with Monica Paul, the Executive Director of the Dallas Sports Commission. More importantly, the Bring 2026 World Cup to Dallas. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. So the last time Dallas hosted the FIFA World Cup was in 1994 at the Cotton Bowl. This was also the only time USA has hosted the World Cup. Why do you think it's taken so long for America and Texas to try to host again?
Well, interestingly enough, we actually submitted a bid, or the United States submitted a bid back in 2010, and that World Cup was awarded to Qatar and to Russia. We were bidding on 2018 and 2022, but I really think this 2026 bid is very unique in that entire North America will be able to host, and you're talking about Canada, Mexico, the United States, over 80 different matches. 60 of those will be in the United States. And I think after 1994, you really saw the growth and expansion of soccer with the MLS and really grow at the youth level. So I think the difference from 1994 to 2026, you've seen a lot of different growth in soccer. And, you know, from FIFA, World Cup is a world game. It's the single largest, or the largest single sport event in the world. So really moving it around and being able to provide that opportunity for many countries and cultures to experience, I think, is also important. But we're very excited about the opportunity in 2026.
Right. So I've told this story before, but my mom was a bartender at the airport, and it was there during the time of the World Cup. And the guy who ran the whole, the planning commission, he had happened to come into her bar and was talking to her and said, well, we're never going to do this again. And she was like, well, why not? She said, because it's way too hot. He was like, well, yeah, it's Texas in summertime. What'd you think was going to happen? When did you guys actually show up? And they apparently took a look at it maybe in February or sometime where being outside was actually tolerable. However, the World Cup is normally played in summertime, where in Texas it is quite hot. So an open air stadium may not have been the best of ideas, but I believe, if I'm correct, the potential World Cup final game would be at AT&T Stadium. Am I wrong?
Yes, AT&T Stadium is our primary venue that we're taking a look at or presenting to FIFA, and definitely a plus that we do have a roof and control the temperature and climate. Keep in mind, the World Cup is slated to be anywhere from June to August, preferably in the June time period, where maybe we're not quite up in the higher temperatures yet. You know, I think with AT&T Stadium, and yes, you mentioned the finals, we definitely want the finals or a semifinal, along with, 6 or so group stage matches. But this will definitely encompass the entire region.
So obviously it's not just Dallas, it'll be the entire Metroplex, which is fantastic.
Oh, yes. I mean, not only from a stadium standpoint, but you need training facilities that are spread through Dallas to Frisco to Farmers Branch to Fort Worth as well. Fan Fest locations. The Fan Fest typically has about 100,000 people in certain cities that I've witnessed. About 100,000 people attend a Fan Fest each day, even when matches may not be taking place in your city. So anticipating a lot of visitors to come in, a lot of international visitors that are supporting their teams, or maybe just here to enjoy soccer and the passion that comes along with that.
Right. Yeah. So I go to WrestleMania every year. I have for the past 11 years. And I do see that international feeling. Even if people aren't going to WrestleMania itself, they're doing something that weekend that obviously is encompassed by WrestleMania being there as well. So this, again, is exactly the same thing, where you're getting the international fans, even if they don't go to the games or any of the matches themselves, they're still there for the passion of the soccer that is going at the time.
Absolutely. I think there's some great similarities there, but between those two events, and just the passion that really exudes um, from the soccer fans at the World Cup is incredible, and very diverse groups, different races, ethnicities. Just a great representation. It is truly the world sport, the world's game.
Oh, I believe that too. So with soccer, or football, as some people may call it, being the international sport that it is, do you feel that there's been a bit of a uphill battle in the state of Texas, where football is, in fact, or American football is the main sport?
We don't see that, I don't, in terms of what I do on a daily basis. We've been very fortunate here in the region of being able to secure large scale matches, whether it's, the Mex Tour that we'll host for 4 years. I think 2023 is our third year. CONCACAF Gold Cup. There's some World Cup qualifying events that we're looking at for this upcoming year, CONCACAF Nations League. So we have a pretty secure resume in terms of the international soccer that we've been able to host over the last 4 or 5 years. And on a daily basis, we receive inquiries in terms of the youth and the grassroots sports and tournaments that are available to, or looking for a location and fields to be able to put on tournaments. Obviously, things have slowed a little bit due to COVID, but we're still getting those inquiries into the future. And I feel like the youth and grassroots space is constantly growing. And I think the North Texas Soccer Association is one of the largest in the United States. In actuality, in the entire Metroplex, we need more soccer fields to be built in order to keep up with the demand that is out there.
The bid has obviously been put in. How long are we going to have to be waiting on the edge of our seats to know if Dallas is in fact going to be one of the hosts?
Well, we anticipated hearing at the end of this year, beginning of 2021, but obviously that schedule has been pushed a little bit due to COVID. We had our first presentation, a virtual presentation to FIFA representatives in July. So now we're in the process of being able to provide them with the additional information that they may need, different questions, layouts, renovations if needed, what do traffic plans look like, or transportation, sustainability, human rights. The next step is really to have a site visit, and until we know when travel is going to open up, especially international travel. Once we have that, then FIFA will engage in additional conversation with them, and anticipating to have a host city announcement next fall, 2021.
Yeah, so what will bringing the World Cup mean to the Metroplex?
Well, there's a few things in terms of the obvious once-in-a-generation opportunity, creating a lasting and positive legacy. You have experts and economists that have done some preliminary studies where we're anticipating over 400 million economic impact boost by hosting various matches, 3,000 new jobs to be created here in our economy, and really also earning global media coverage to further promote our area, our cities, DFW, the entire region, as truly an international and a world-class destination. So yes, we want to be hosting a World Cup and increase the tourism and visitors in scale even before the World Cup gets here, but then also after the World Cup has come and gone. And I think one of the important pieces to hosting any major event, but I really think the World Cup can kind of take it to another level, is the legacy that it leaves behind in terms of what opportunities can be created, whether it's for kids, for infrastructure. It could be as simple as additional fields that our youth and residents are able to utilize afterwards. I think there's a lot of programming that goes into a lot of these international events that are to benefit the area after the event is gone.
So we have a segment on the show called Tournament of Toppings, where we try to find the best pizza in Arlington. What is your favorite pizza place? Maybe in Arlington or the Metroplex?
Best pizza. Well, I am a Campese's fan.
Ah, yes.
And I am I'm not 100% how to pronounce it. Cane Rosa.
Ah, yes. Yeah, I think it's Cane Rosa or Cane Rosa. I do, but too, depending
Yes,
on.
I can do. I do either of those. There's one both of them are actually right down the street from my office, so I used to frequent them regularly.
Yeah, there's going to be a Cane Rosso, I believe, opening up maybe next week here in Arlington. So we're looking forward to that very much, too.
Great addition. There you go.
So if people want to follow the campaign to bring the World Cup to Dallas or the Dallas Sports Commission, where can they do so on social media?
We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, both Dallas Sports Commission and Dallas 2026 or World Cup Dallas 2026. On all three of those channels. And we also have a website that people can follow where we'll be posting updates if they want to receive information to volunteer. We don't have volunteer opportunities yet, but at some point we definitely will down the way once we know that we're a host city. So
Right.
And the website is dallasworldcup2026.com.
All right, Monica, I appreciate your time, and we look forward to talking to you again in the future.
Perfect. Thank you, John.
Okay, well, we are here with Dreamwaves Productions, made up of Trang Vu and Damien Price. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing good. How are you?
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we're doing great. We're glad to have you here finally. Like we just said off air, we kind of have been in the same orbits, all of us, but haven't really spent a good amount of time together except for me and Trang when we did class. So our first question, how did you guys meet and where did the idea to start a production company come from?
We met at an open mic in Arlington. I don't know. We don't remember which one exactly, just because like we've been to so many together at the same time. But that's generally where we met because, we were just always on the scene together. And, we would always see each other taking pictures and like, we didn't want to compete with each other because we always got tagged in each other's pictures anyway, for taking pictures of other people. And people think that, hey, Damien make this picture and it's really Trang's picture.
Yeah.
And then the same for her. They just had her in pictures that I've taken. So we were just like, hey, why don't we just, cut the middleman out and just, come together. And that's how we came up with Dreamwaves. And we also started working on my music video, Still Do, for one of my songs. It's on YouTube right now if they want to go, stream it.
If they want to look it up, where do they go?
Just go to YouTube and go to Dreamwaves Productions, or you can look up my name, Damien Price, and type in Still Do, and it'll pop up.
There you go.
But yeah, that's really how we met. It just been up from there,
Yeah.
So you guys have been around the Arlington poets, musicians, art scene for quite a while now. How do you see this scene changing over the past few years, and then also where do you see it going?
Yeah, so Damien and I were just talking about it. I've actually been in the scene a little bit longer than him. I've been doing spoken word poetry since about 2016.
Oh, wow.
So I've seen it grow. I was more so in the poetry scene exclusively to poets, and then I started seeing it kind of being integrated with more music, and I've seen it grown a lot with the people that put on this show. So at first, when I first started going, it was three main people, like kind of the older generation.
Right.
But now it seems like more of the youth is coming out to start their own open mics and events and things like that.
Right.
So I've seen it really expand, and I think it's going to get really far, especially with what we saw with Arlington Music Hall.
Right.
I really see Arlington really coming up with the music and art scene.
Right. Yeah. The Our Town, Our Sound was absolutely incredible.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, we were like I want to make like an Arlington music festival, like to where like multiple artists just have a lineup and like for a whole day have vendors and everything.
Right.
Like that's ultimately like where I want to see the music scene go, because I feel like we've already established a open mic scene.
Yeah.
We've done like all that we can with the open mic. We hit the ceiling. We want to get through the ceiling, push for like a big festival, expand on our artistry, and the artists bring more people in,
And making money.
Yeah,
you
making
know, from the art
making
finally.
actual money from it because open mics they'll make a little chump change, but I think the festivals is where the actual money for the city will come in.
Right, I think so too. I mean, the East Main Arts Festival kind of was a little bit of that, but unfortunately this year didn't happen because I know that they were
excited for that. Yeah,
because they had they were going to do 4 stages.
It was going to be the biggest one yet.
Right,
that would have been awesome. Yeah.
Darn Corona.
Well, next year,
Hopefully.
Hopefully we'll make this bigger and even better.
So you've both worked on some pretty cool projects over the last couple of years. Tell us about shooting the music video for the aforementioned Still Do and Hold It Down.
Still Do. That was an experience. It was one of the first, literally a learning experience. Like the first video we ever did together. It's just we went in with high hopes and a lot of expectations and a lot of enthusiasm. But by the end of it, it was just wow, we did not know what we were doing. But it all came together perfectly, even though we didn't know what we were doing and that we, were just winging it, it actually came out pretty fun. And I had a taste in acting. She had a taste in directing, when she really just came into the role, she just owned it and she was really good with everything. But Hold It Down was the next video that we worked on for Artemis Funk, which was another learning experience because it's different things each time.
Yeah.
We learn.
It was the biggest group we've worked with.
Sure, they're a big band.
Yeah. There are eight people in there, so lots of just ideas all over the place, and we had to kind of just narrow everything down to make the vision that worked best for everyone.
I could imagine, and plus they're all artists themselves.
Yeah,
I guarantee they probably all had their own
creative.
idea.
Yeah.
Everyone had hey, can you add this kind of effect on there? And then the other person's well, to add on to that effect, can you add this effect?
And they were all really great ideas. It's just with us being a low budget production company for the time being, it's a little hard to do everything.
Yeah. We were I'm just I really want to make that happen, but ideally, realistically, I can make this happen.
Yeah.
And,
So we basically had to learn. So Still Do was more of Damien's baby, where he had all the say so and all the editing power.
And that's where it came in to be easy for me.
Yeah.
Because when you're shooting your own video and you're editing your own video, you don't have you humble yourself really quickly because you're just okay, I can't do all this, so let me go ahead and work around it. But for other artists, they don't really see that side of it. They just see they see a music video and he can edit it or she can edit it to do this, and you're just I could, but that would take months and months of time because some things are just more tedious than others. So
yeah, we shot it was a full day of shooting. It was 12 hours, I think longer.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. It took how long did it take for us to edit everything? A month and a half or so.
Yeah,
Wow.
especially video editing. People don't realize it takes time to do that. It's not okay, and we're done.
Yeah,
exactly.
Especially with transitions and moving everything around.
Right.
Yeah.
and that's if you have a computer that
Uh-oh.
will actually work
gosh.
with you. Because if you have a computer that won't if it's the graphics card, it's just outdated and the CPU is just not as powerful.
I remember our editing sessions were I'm sorry for cutting you off. Our editing sessions were 6 hours.
Yep.
And 3 of the hours was really just sitting there waiting for everything to render.
Yeah. Yeah, we have the same problems with our equipment,
no.
Well, I mean, it's not so bad, but it would be great if we had.
To have faster.
top of the line.
This
Right.
MacBook is over, it's a decade old,
Yeah.
so it just doesn't work as well as the newer, more powerful
Right.
equipment. But
See,
we make do with what we got.
Yeah.
The next thing we're gonna do is I'm working on selling my computer that I have now and building one from scratch.
Yeah.
I have reached out to this guy on Facebook, and he actually builds computers from scratch. And it's gonna be $750 for it.
That's good.
It's
Oh,
gonna
that's
be
awesome.
specifically for editing video and stuff like
Powerful enough to do that sort of
Mhm.
thing because you do it needs to be a powerful computer and the graphic card needs to be good. Yeah, for sure.
that. See, I learned all this lingo from
Yeah.
researching why my computer is so slow. I didn't know any of this post editing. I was just why is this going so slow?
Right.
What do I need? and then I would look it up and like $1,000, like,
So what else can I do?
Right.
What has been your favorite project so far?
It's kind of a tie between the two biggest ones that we've had. I'd say, for one, since Dreamwaves has been together, would be the Artemis Funk, because the band is very, very fun to work with.
Oh yeah, they're fun to see live.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
every time I've seen them live, I'm always blown away by how like incredibly fun and talented they are.
Yes.
and then the shoot was just so fun. Like
It really was.
It wasn't really like shooting; it was just like hanging out. Like
Yeah, that was the whole vibe of the
Yeah.
the music video. I know y'all have seen little bits of it, but it was like 70s, that 70s show theme.
Right.
So it was really, really fun.
super fun.
Rhea was the one who did most of the
Styling.
Yeah, she did all their outfits, and she did the scenes, like the setups.
Oh,
so
nice.
that really helped a lot with
Yeah.
the actual visuals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rhea's she is their
Percussionist, yeah.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah, she seems really cool, and like a makeup artist
Oh,
and
yeah.
hairstylist, and
Right.
yeah, she is cool.
Very fashionable. But no, they were all very professional. It was actually really nice to work, with somebody who hired us, because that was our first band that had actually hired us to do a music video, and they knew what they wanted, and they just like turned it on as soon as the camera came on. So they were amazing.
I have no doubt that we're gonna be seeing them like actually
Oh, for sure.
bust out of this Arlington scene. Like, I think if Corona hadn't happened, it would have happened already.
Oh yeah,
Right, yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
just
Totally
it won't be long. They won't be playing here anymore.
Right.
And if they do, it'll be like
Yeah, they're
maybe
blowing up.
at Globe Life Field or
Right, exactly.
something like that. Yeah.
Definitely agree.
So, what do you see for the future of Dreamwaves Productions?
We actually just put someone hired someone on
cool.
essentially. So we're trying to grow.
Yeah,
Right.
We're growing, trying to expand on like just the production team. Venture into different avenues of production. TV, short films, whatever comes our way.
Yeah.
We want to dive into it, because like we don't want to put ourselves in like a box to where. Sorry, let me.
Oh yeah. So the name Dreamwaves actually came from my boyfriend inspired it. Patrick Pomboina, he's the lead singer of Artemis Funk.
Oh yeah.
So he was just, we were talking about music or something, and he said, music is just sound waves. And I was like, we just kind of had this like big discussion about how everything is waves. Like you have your light waves, sound waves, everything. So while Damien and I were thinking about a name for our company, we were thinking like lucid dreaming. We had all these different ideas, and I said, what about Dreamwaves? Because and we came up with a slogan. It was like, if you can dream it, we can make waves. Because
Oh,
everything,
awesome. I love
yeah.
it.
And we want to incorporate everything. Whether it's recording music or making movies, music videos, we want to do everything.
Yeah, because we both have like an aspiration to meet Donald Glover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is our role model.
Yeah, I think for sure. Me
that's
too.
That's where we connected. We were like, I just said, I really want to be on like Atlanta and like meet Donald Glover, and she's like, me too, and I'm just like, what? Like, are we just like best friends now?
Right, exactly.
Did we just become best friends?
Yes.
So, yeah, it was just like it clicked for us, and we were just like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do.
That
we're
man
gonna-
does everything.
He
Like
does.
he is so talented, and basically, like with Damien being a musician as well, and then me doing poetry, we kind of do everything. It seems like we can kind of engulf everything in the art field.
Right. Yeah, and I was listening to him on the way over here. He literally does everything.
What's your
so-
favorite song?
Oh, I was bumping 3005. So yeah,
classic.
I didn't realize how hard, like the
bass
bass.
hits?
Yes, I was in my car. I was like, damn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, I think my favorite song from him is Telegraph Avenue.
Oh.
Okay.
It's like every time it gets me. I don't know why. It's just one of those. It resonates. I think it's because I have like nostalgia for it.
Okay.
Because I listen to it and I remember where I
It takes you
was
back.
whenever I was first listening to it. So it's just like, yeah, this is the one.
Yeah.
So if you could pick any project to work on locally, what would it be? I guess you kind of mentioned doing like a festival, but maybe like a documentary film about the scene. Like, what would be your ultimate local project?
Oh yeah, so Damien and I, as Dreamwaves, we both have projects that we want to work on together. Of course, which he mentioned the Arlington Festival. Separately, I'd say for me, I want to do like a docu-series on artists who come from immigrant families who want them to pursue more like the medical field or, you know,
that is
things
such
like that.
a good idea.
Yeah. And just kind of the struggle. I mean, it's a personal story for me too.
Right,
Because,
exactly.
you know, I wasn't born here. I was born in Hong Kong, and my parents all the time they would be like, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be a teacher. And you know, my aspiration when I was younger was to be a pop singer.
Right.
But then I realized I couldn't sing, so I had to find something else. So my mom's really kind of accepting of what I do now. Honestly, mostly because she sees that I'm making money from it.
Sure.
But it is something that a lot of, I think, first generation children, they struggle with because they can't really be their true selves with their parents.
Right.
For me, I was actually talking to someone about this the other day. I want to make a short film about like mental illness in like black families.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Because my
That's
brother,
important.
he was diagnosed with bipolar schizophrenia. So like I kind of have an idea of like why it happened to him. Because like just from experience, like watching him grow up, because he's a year younger than me. So it's just like
You've seen it grow.
Yeah, I seen it because I seen it from my side and I seen it from his side. Like I could see, because my parents, they were like really nice to me and really good to me. Not that they were mean to him. It's just like I would show more like attention and affection just because like I was good in school and I got good grades and all this stuff. So they were just like, let's pour a lot of love and like attention into him and be like, watch him, prosper and everything. And then, they would say because he would act out and he would be getting in trouble and stuff. So they would, say, you're not going to do anything with your life because you're doing this, and that words mean something. Words do something to you. So it's just like, so I want to make a short film kind of. So my idea is just to have on the screen, just like a split screen, me growing up and him growing up, like, at the same time, and just showing the different,
interactions with
interactions.
the parents and how
That's
that
good.
leads to different outcomes. That's
I like that.
Yeah, both of those ideas are like super. I think they shine a spotlight on something that you may not necessarily like have a lot of out there, right? Like, but obviously, like those things are happening. So I think they're both like they would be wonderful projects. To,
great
to
ideas.
see, and yeah, I think it'd be great for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
So, I mean, hearing all this, can we expect a future collaboration between Arlington Citizen Media and Dreamwaves?
Yes, I would love that.
Yeah, we would
Absolutely.
love to. Honestly, like, I love everything that y'all do because you're bringing awareness to everything that's happening in Arlington.
Thank you.
Which, when you hear the Metroplex, you think of Dallas or
Right,
Fort
right,
Worth,
exactly.
right? Arlington's kind of that middle child. So I love that y'all are bringing it out and showing everything that, people don't really see.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that was one of the things when we started it. We were like, there's a lot happening here.
and boy, we didn't even know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we just
We
like had
didn't
scratched the
even know.
surface. And
Yeah.
like now we're like getting in and like, there's all these businesses, there's artists, there's musicians, there's poets. There's all these things that like I didn't, and I grew up here.
Right.
So like I've lived here almost my entire life. I didn't know any of this stuff was happening. And some of it is recent. Like some of the stuff is recent, but like just seeing it grow and evolve and be able to tell those stories, stories like this, it's been really great, and I'm super excited about it. Obviously,
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see a year, 2 years from now, see where we are and how this city has grown.
How long have y'all, when did y'all start this?
April of last year, so over a year now.
We
Yeah.
just met.
Amy and
It'll
I,
be 2
we
years
met-
in December this year,
Right,
right?
2 years
Yeah.
in December.
Brody and I have known each other
Yeah.
almost our whole lives.
We went to
but,
Gun
yeah,
Junior
we went to
High.
junior high
Really?
together.
I used to live over by Gun Junior.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I went to Carter in 7th grade, and
Okay.
then I moved to Grand Prairie. But I came back in high school, and I went to Arlington High down the street.
Okay. Yeah, he went to
cool.
Bowie. I
Went
went
to
to Martin.
Bowie.
So, yeah.
I'm from California.
Get out of here! No, I'm just
Exactly.
kidding. I'm just
So
kidding.
I moved
Typical
here-
Californians
I
coming to
know.
Texas.
I know, just ruining the state. I moved here in 2007.
Oh, wow.
And then, had a kid, got married, and just kind of, he and I met on a Facebook
Yeah.
comment,
Wow.
with the same idea.
She was like, "I want to do a podcast," or she was like, it was this other site that was talking about doing it, but she was like, I would, love to do it. And I was like, hey, I've done some podcasts. I'd love to help.
Oh,
and we
that's
just
awesome.
met 3 days later, and
that's
really how
cool.
it started
And
rolling.
That's how
like,
the best things start, just like us.
Yeah, exactly. We totally clicked. And then when he brought Rhodey on, we clicked as well. Like, we all had the same idea. We're the same age. Sorry, excuse me. But it's been great. So when we had no idea, honestly, we went to, I think, the Truth Final open mic.
Oh, yeah.
And we had no idea, what was going on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then met from there, all these people, and then went to, the Chat and Do with Arlington Nights. And pretty soon, I mean, we had no idea.
Yeah.
So
yeah, honestly, that was kind of how it was for me. Like I said, I was strictly poetry. And then when music started coming around the poetry scenes, I learned so much more. Like, there are so many more open mics, so many more venues, like bars and places that open up for artists. And I did not know that until, working with Damien, but also dating my boyfriend because he does so many different shows.
Right.
Yeah, I was actually working. Well, yeah, I was working at the movie theater at AMC, and I met Shay Rizal through because she was working there for a little while.
Oh.
And she would always come carrying around a notebook, writing lyrics and stuff. And she invited me to open mic, and I went, just as an artist, and I brought my camera because I had just started, taking pictures. I just picked up the camera like, hey, I want to shoot my own music video, so I want to, get good at this. So I just started taking pictures for them at the open mic, and it just became a regular thing. They just like, hey, you want to take pictures for us? I was like, sure.
Are they still doing those? Because I went to one at Mavericks. It was a year ago.
Yeah. Well, not right now because they moved to Atlanta.
Oh.
Yeah, they moved to Atlanta. So not right now. They kind of, want to see what they have to offer in Atlanta and then maybe come back,
they'll
do
be
it
back.
again. Yeah. But yeah, so that's how it happened for me. And I didn't know anything like you've been here your whole life. I've been here since 2007. So I had no idea that there was a music scene in Arlington and people were actually doing. I thought you had to go to Dallas to do that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So when I found out, it's just a culture shock.
Yeah. And I think that was one of the nicest things about starting this podcast was finding this world of artists and musicians and creative people right here in this city, not having to go to Dallas, not having to go to Fort Worth. It's been great. And
Arlington is so welcoming. The artists, the scene is just very welcoming. People, you can come and do any type of art form, and people, sit there and watch you, support you, and
it's
just
not all cliquish.
Well, and I think that's a byproduct of the fact that it is kind of a burgeoning thing. It's not set in stone. There's not it's not cliquish. It's not people are out here going, "Hey, man, you're doing art, cool. I mean, let's all do it together."
Yes, and then they'll put a show specifically around your type of art. They'll really invest into you here, and it's just really it's nice. It's a really nice feeling.
So where can people find Dreamwaves Productions and follow you guys?
We're on Instagram at dreamwaves.productions. We're on Facebooks. So like an old person.
We're on the Facebook.
We're on the Facebook. We're on Facebook. You can find us. I think you just look up Dreamwaves Productions. It will pop up as well. Or you can just, find us individually, like Damien Price, Trang.
Yeah, we have our stuff tagged.
What else? We don't have a Twitter yet. But we have personal Twitters. I think it's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a website in the future.
Yeah,
yes,
hopefully
for
in
sure.
the future.
We have a couple things coming up. We just got our logos done.
Which these logos are amazing. I'm looking at them.
Yeah,
right
they
now.
are. They're
oh
so
my gosh,
cool.
Norma
who did these?
Soto. She goes by MoMA Inks as her Instagram, but she's really, really talented. She's done so much for other artists, but I think she captured our vision so well. Okay, so this logo, I came to Damien and I was like, waves. We want to do something with waves, and I was like, oh my gosh, your hair and my hair. I don't know why I got that idea, but you can see where his hair kind of goes into my hair.
You have a picture of that?
Like a wave.
As a wave.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Damien added this with the lens.
Yeah.
So she even added that.
Oh.
And I really just love
a
celestial stuff. So I asked her to do the moon and the stars, and I don't know, I feel like she just captured our avatars
absolutely.
so well.
Yeah, perfectly. I love it.
And in the future, we were talking about, because of course, like we can't just like as a production company, just have our faces.
Like our faces, yeah.
You know, we want to represent the whole. Like once we expand, we want to represent all of us. So we're thinking about just
doing a minimalist.
Yeah, just more minimal, and then also like for our people who are filming for us, who are extended of us, we thought about having them have their own avatar and just having the name.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And then we just all have different avatars,
yeah. And that
like
would
that.
play well with just your like social media and marketing down the line, and even like your website and your introductions about yourselves, having an avatar that represents you is a really good idea.
Yeah.
We have one final question, and it is super important. We ask everyone this. We have a segment on the show that we have not done in forever because of COVID, but it's called the Tournament of Toppings. We are trying to find the best pizza place in Arlington. What is your favorite pizza place in Arlington?
I don't really go to local places. Like I'm very mainstream. I'm sorry,
ladies and gentlemen. The last Dreamwaves Productions.
Right.
No, it's just like
Amy picked Domino's.
Yeah, the first time.
Yeah,
so
I was gonna
fine.
say Papa John's because that's
Their crust is good.
Yeah, I love crust.
Yeah.
So I'm just
Domino's crust is really good too.
Yeah, that's true. Since they did their rebranding,
Yep.
it's pretty
Yeah.
good.
But
I had it last night.
When I was in high school, I used to go to Nita Pizza.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that would be like my go-to right now.
I'd say when I was in high school, because I don't typically eat pizza all that much, Mama's Pizza.
Yeah,
'Cause
Mama's is good.
I went to Summit, so we always did stuff like for band with Mama's Pizza.
Right, that makes sense.
It's a good place. That's a good one. We went there like a year ago.
Their crust
Yeah.
is really good too.
It is.
I
Yeah.
really liked their pizza.
I
I
did
was
too.
really impressed.
I live over here. I should get it, but I never do.
Yeah.
I never
I forget
remember
about it.
Me too. I honestly forget about it too.
Is that y'all's recommendation? Go to the Mama's Pizza? Or?
That
Actually,
or
Our old
school.
school
Yeah.
is our
Old school.
favorite. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. One question. Does pineapple go on pizza?
I think so. I don't.
I
was
think
gonna
it
ask
adds.
that too.
It adds.
Yes.
I do.
I'm into it.
I love
Right.
pineapple on pizza. So
I didn't. My wife, that's like what she eats.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah, like pineapple
"Ugh."
and bacon, right?
Well, bacon, pepperoni, some
I
sort
like
of meat.
pineapple mushroom.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, when I
Yeah.
used to eat like Canadian bacon, when I used to eat pork and stuff, I used to have like Hawaiian pizza all the time.
Yeah.
That was like
Yeah.
my go-to. My parents used to like,
I'd be like, what are you eating?
I'm just like, why are you judging me? Like I'm just at CC's,
Right.
I'm just gonna eat these 4 pizzas at CC's. Where are you looking at me for?
Yeah, that's where I like kind of discovered it. It's like
Okay.
You were like, what's this?
I was like,
Yeah.
is this fruit?
Yeah.
I love fruit.
I mean, tomato's technically a fruit now, so it
It's
is
true.
like a fruit cheese thing.
Yeah, no, I love it. I put it on any pizza that I can.
Yeah. Cool. We should have a pizza party.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm always down for a pizza
Oh
party.
yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
say that. I have a pizza tattoo that I did myself, so it's terrible. It's the first tattoo I ever did on my own, but it's the worst tattoo. But it is pizza tattoo.
Nice.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. I'm so
thank
glad
you.
that we got to do this, and I'm
Yeah.
looking
So
forward
fun.
to future collaborations.
Very
Yeah.
much.
Thank y'all for having us.
Yeah,
I
for
really
sure.
appreciate it.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Anytime.
y'all are our first interviews, so this is
Yeah.
a very big
Oh,
landmark
nice.
for us.
Oh, cool.
We were like, I was super nervous because I sometimes lose my train of thought
yeah.
very easily, and it's like we had to.
That's why we typed this
Yeah.
up.
I'm so like.
Yeah,
free
and
floating.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, I over prepare, especially for stuff like this. So I'm just like very, like, I feel like I lose train of thought because I overthink things.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
you
but
guys
this
did a
was
great
nice.
job.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you guys did.
Wonderful
You killed it.
interview.
Thank y'all for
Killed
having
it,
us.
crushed
Y'all
it.
are
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to hear more podcasts and learn more about Arlington.
Oh, we're trying.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our guests this week. Dreamwaves Production, please check them out if you need any sort of video work, photography. They're great, great to work with. Really
Great people.
local
Yeah, very cool
and great people. We really love that. Of course, we want to bring the FIFA World Cup to Arlington. Thank you so
Right
much,
here.
Because,
Over 100,000 people, hopefully.
yeah, that would be
Watching
amazing.
some football.
Plus,
Not of the North American variety.
Right, European football.
That would be so cool. So thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you listeners, our guests, and don't forget to
Make sure to go out and eat local, drink local, and
Go rediscover your city.
Tag us and send those pictures over to us on Facebook, Arlington Citizen Media, Twitter, ATX Citizen Media. Tag us on Instagram, Arlington Citizen Media, and send those pictures the old-fashioned way. Email arlingtoncitizenmedia@gmail.com. Also go to our website, www.arlingtoncitizenmedia.com. Don't forget to subscribe and give those 5-star reviews of The Downtown at Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and also hit us on SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and YouTube.